So I'm going to go through some of the questions from exercise 19.3. Some of the questions from the end of the exercise are quite tricky, or at least quite confusing. Anyway, question 7 here, which I've done out the last part, but maybe the first part first of all. So f of x is equal to 5x minus 1. So what you do with this question is, if it's f of minus 3, you take out x and replace with minus 3. In this particular case here, what happens to x? It gets multiplied by 5 and you subtract 1. I do the exact same thing with the minus 3. So 5 times minus 3 is minus 15, minus 1 is minus 16. So f of minus 3 is equal to minus 16. Now, I've done out 7 part 5 here. Quite a weird looking thing. F of 2k minus 1. What would you do with that? The exact same thing you would do with f of minus 3. You take out the x and replace it with 2k minus 1. Do the same thing over this side. So I'm going to take the input, which is 2k minus 1, multiply it by 5, and then simplify it as much as possible. So 5 times 2k minus 1. Well, 5 by 2k is 10k, 5 by minus 1 is minus 5. And then on the next line, then I can add together the minus 5 and minus 1 to give me 10k minus 6 is my final answer. For the next question, question 8, again, very confusing looking. Some fancy function notation here. This just basically means a function f maps x onto 2 minus 3x. So the only bit you're really interested in here is 2 minus 3x. So what you're going to do is to subtract 3 times the input away from 2. So how does that happen in practice? Well, now, they're asking you to find a value for the number k if k multiplied by f of 3 is equal to 7 times f of 2. So with these type of questions, you try and pick out the bits that you can do. There's an f of 3 here which I can work out, and there's an f of 2 that I can work with. So if we work out f of 3 first of all, by subbing in 3 into the function 2 minus 3x, I get 2 minus 3 times 3, that's 2 minus 9. So f of 3 is equal to minus 7. And on the right hand side here, I'm asked to work out 7 times f of 2. The first thing I do is work out f of 2. That turns out to be minus 4. Well, then k times f of 3 is equal to minus 7k, and 7 times f of 2, which is equal to minus 4, is equal to 7 times minus 4. That equals minus 28. And then you're asked to let those two equal each other and try and solve the equation. So we're asked to solve k times f of 3 is equal to 7 times f of 2. That becomes minus 7k is equal to minus 28, and k therefore is equal to 4 when you divide both sides by minus 7. Question 10. First part is easy enough. Find f of 4. In this case, we're dealing with an output of 5x minus 7. That means I'm going to take the input, multiply it by 5, and subtract 7. If I do that with 4, I end up with an answer of 13. Nice question. Part 2 is a bit more confusing looking with a fancy notation, but again, I can take out this f of minus 3 here and work it out. It turns out to be minus 22. I can take out the f of 3 on the other side and work that part out. That turns out to be 8. So therefore then, k times f of 3 is equal to 8k. 8 multiplied by k. So then I'm asked to solve f of minus 3 is equal to k times f of 3. Well, f of minus 3 was minus 22, and 8 is let that equal to 8k. Divide across by 8, and you get an unusual answer there, minus 2 3/4. Then question 12, got 1 minute to go here. Again, same stuff. You take out the bits you can do. You can work out g of 3. It turns out to be 4. You can work out f of 3. That turns out to be 12. And then I fill those into this equation here. So we're asked to solve that. G of 3 is 4, f of 3 is 12. We end up with 4 plus 12k equals 8. Don't be put off by the square brackets, that still just means multiply. And again, you work it out, 12k equals 4, k equals a third. The last part, same kind of stuff again. You don't know what you're given, you're missing something in the function here, but you're told that h of 1 equals minus 5. So I put in that input into my function, and I get h of 1 is equal to 2 times 1 plus a. I get h of 1 is equal to 2 plus a. H of 1 equals minus 5. And then I solve the equation. These two must then be equal to each other. 2 plus a equals minus 5, a equals minus 7. And the same over here. And that's